Israel Adesanya's coach came out. And I need to be very clear about something because this was a long interview. It was like 27 minutes, and I went through it pretty quickly. I spent about 6 minutes of 27, so if I misquote him, and I just want to disclose this because Adesanya's coach is one of the good guys of this sport. Not only has he done a great job as a coach, but he's also very well respected, and he's one of the good guys. So I don't want to misquote him, but I also don't think I'm in any trouble here because this wasn't some hot take, but he did make a point that I heard that I thought was interesting. He said, you know what? I'm not so sure I'm into this Jon Jones business. I'd like to see Adesanya fight Stipe. Now, guys, we're not going to spend 1 second wasting our time on a fight between Adesanya and Stipe, which most certainly is not ever going to take place. But let's spend a little bit of time breaking down the concept. And here's the question I want to ask you. Is Stipe Miocic an easier fight for Israel Adesanya than Jon Jones in a weird way? And that's actually a tough question, isn't it? Because many times we will see a middleweight or even a light heavyweight, somebody who's not a heavyweight, somebody from a different weight class, but now all of a sudden they're fighting at heavyweight. Well, that's because they went and got fat. That's because they went and got out of shape. That's because they went and took a whole bunch of steroids. There's all sorts of reasons why a guy who doesn't break 200 pounds is all of a sudden in the heavyweight class. And the story ends the same way, which is the guy face down and embarrassed. But we still do see it happen. Now, that's not the case with Adesanya, and I do have to back up. Adesanya's coach also said, look, we fight at our walk-around weight, which in Izzy's case happens to be just a couple of pounds above middleweight. He's kind of saying Izzy walks around, he said a couple pounds, that could mean 187, that could mean 189. But Izzy is a true middleweight. I mean, he wakes up, skips breakfast, goes for a light walk, and hits the scale. I bring that up to you because under most philosophies, at least the North American philosophy, which Americans just love to cut weight. And largely that is an American phenomenon. You don't see that in Eastern Bloc countries. You don't see that from the Asian parts of the world. North Americans really love to cut weight. But by most metrics, Adesanya would be a 170-pounder. I bring that up to you because I brought up to you about 2 months ago that Adesanya, when he went on a media tour insisting that he was 204 pounds, was lying. He was lying because he wants to fight Jon Jones so bad. He just started claiming that he basically was the size of a light heavyweight. Now while I'm saying he's lying, what a terrible thing, calling a guy a liar. I'm saying it as a compliment. This is how much courage this guy has. This is how much belief he has in himself. He's dead serious about wanting to fight Jon Jones. He's so serious about fighting Jon Jones, he went on a media tour lying about how big he was. Under most metrics, he would actually cut down and be a 170-pounder, but his coach has now come out. His coach is a very straightforward guy and just simply said, look, we fight at our walk-around weight, and that happens to be a couple of pounds heavier than the 185-pound limit. Okay, great, but it also does solve that problem. It also does put a bow on the argument that Adesanya was attempting to make that he's big enough to fight at light heavyweight. He has the courage and the skills to go fight Jon Jones, but as far as the size, that's a conversation for another day. I still want to ask you, in many ways, is Stipe an easier fight for Adesanya than Jones? No part of this question is to proclaim that Stipe Miocic is an easy fight. Okay, I'm asking you, is he an easier? Okay, make sure you hear the last syllable or you'll be missing my concept. Is Stipe an easier fight? Because if you look at Adesanya, he's the height of a heavyweight. He has the reach and the length of a heavyweight. He has a speed that would be a problem for any heavyweight. Jon Jones is that right in between. And when you want to start about talking about who's more dynamic, I believe that answer is Israel Adesanya. But I can't prove it. I mean, Jon Jones is very dynamic. I think we can agree to that. Jon Jones is something very special on his feet. He does get hit a lot, but he acts like he doesn't. Like, I don't know what it would take to hurt Jon Jones. Reyes was hitting Jon Jones with some body shots that were audible. You could hear them. Jon Jones took a step forward. Jon Jones' face never even grimaced. Oh, no, never happened. Acted like it never happened. Took kicks, took punches, took him on the chin. You could even go back to the Lionheart fight. You could go right in between and look at the Santos fight. Jon Jones just doesn't seem to get hurt. Seems to be made out of Teflon. So you start to ask yourself some of these questions. Okay, yeah, Izzy's going to hit him a whole bunch of times, but can he hurt him? I don't know the answer to that. And I don't know that Izzy has to hurt him. Izzy could just go a nice long fight, and that's how he's going to beat Jon Jones. He's going to stay out there all night, and he's going to win more rounds than Jon does and get his hand raised. His hand raised that way. What I'm asking you is Stipe an easier fight? Stipe, who's less dynamic, Stipe, who doesn't quite have as long of a reach as Jon, Stipe, who's a bigger guy, which means if he connects with Izzy, Izzy's got some big problems in a hurry, but should he not connect because Izzy's a little faster? In many ways, does Izzy meet up better with Stipe than he does with Jon? This isn't really my question as much as my interpretation of the statement made by Izzy's coach himself. Now, I'm no more foolish than you guys. I get it. Adesanya, Stipe, they're going to fight. I get it. You go to the window, you put your money on the heavyweight champion of the world. I get it. But that isn't the question. That's not the question. There's many of you that are going to go, well, Izzy shouldn't even be there with Jon Jones. Jon Jones is too big for him. Jon Jones is too good for him. Okay, you could be right. I'm not arguing with you that. That's not the question. In a weird way, would the speed, height, and reach of Adesanya versus the power and the grit of Stipe be easier than the dynamicness, the speed, and the reach of Adesanya versus the longer reach, the more height, and arguably the same amount of dynamicness of Jon Jones? It's a very strange question. It's not even my question. It is my interpretation of a statement made in an interview that was 27 minutes long and I happened to listen to 6 minutes of. But in a weird way, it does create some thought. And I'd love to know what you think about it.